Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Heartwell Dev stream, the live stream series where we continue to develop this adorable Souls-like action RPG with platforming mechanics and multiple endings. And if you want to watch these dev streams on your own time, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and put that bell button to stay notified. Now, obviously, when we previously left off, we were doing some more work with the text updates. You actually see it up here in the top left-hand corner. The healing charge counter is now using a custom font. And similarly, I don't know if there's a lore bit around here. Okay, there is. So if we go to the lore bits, you know, new custom fonts. We're definitely getting there. I spent a lot of time over the past couple of weeks working on these custom fonts and trying to work towards implementing them. We've made some great progress, but today we're going to be focusing on the next big section for this custom font update, and that is the manifest. So currently, this is what the old fonts look like in the manifest. Well, it doesn't look too bad at this zoom in. If I were to play the game in the more zoomed in version, by starting from the beginning, then it would look very odd. So we are going to essentially be replacing all of these custom fonts, even the ones that are like right here in this text spots, with all of these old text spots is with the new custom fonts as part of the rework. But that means we'll have to go into programming land. So that is what our main focus will be for tonight. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Let's play on some music. Okay, so first things first, you need to make sure our UI fonts are all in order. No, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably this one that we'll want to use. Yeah. That's the closest to the... Oh, this one, except not... Oh, something else. So... See, I didn't actually change anything there. I think the delete function test probably has one somewhere. The answer is no. Actually, no, it has this one out. Did I add this one? Let's find out. This seems edited, I think. Hello, Top Rentals, and thanks for dropping by. Welcome, welcome. I think it's edited properly. Actually, there's an easy way to tell because the offset will be in the char map. 8x10. Okay. So I think go to the menu frame. Yeah, it's 8x10. Okay. Let's go from there. Okay. All right, fair enough. Well, hey, Copper Nicholson, I wish you all the best with your work. And, you know, you're always welcome to see the stream archives. That's when those go live on YouTube. All right. We'll copy that. Head on over to the depths. Right. Spots layout. Yeah. All right. So we have ourselves our first text splitter object. Oh. Just realized, wrong frame. We kind of always start with the central well for our testing, since it's very easy. It's a very easy frame to test in. Oh. Also, wrong layer. There we go. Okay. So our goal right now, chat, is to see whether or not we can get the manifest text splitter to display properly, and we'll go from there. So we'll start with one, then we'll build our way up. All right. Where is our new text splitter object? Ah, here we are. Yep, manifest. We're gonna bring it actually over here to the right so that we can edit out. For those who are wondering what I'm doing, I'm in the process of organizing my code, organizing the event editor to make it easier for the programming we're going to do. So effectively what we're going to do is replace the code for one of the strings in the manifest UI with this text splitter. And that'll be more of a proof of concept to make sure that we have the right font size and spacing and all that. And once we do that, if all goes well, then we will replace all the text boxes with these text splitters. So you'll notice, chat, every single one of these text boxes is used in some capacity for the manifest, and we have to replace them all with custom font text splitter objects. So, as always, we start simple. So we'll start with over here, level through wisdom XP. So if I were to look at the manifest itself, it would essentially be a bunch of stuff that's displayed down this way. So, prior to tonight's stream, I did take the... Also, what is this? Event Explorer. I don't remember. That's interesting. I do not remember this particular window existing before. Let's see here. Fascinating. Okay. So that's a thing. Alright. So actually what I did before stream here, chat, is I've meticulously gone through each of these. I've flipped up here to highlight only the events that affect these particular lines of code, and meticulously create copies of the code, so if we mess up, we at least have our backup code not too far away. Now, the process we will be doing for much of the night, chat, is going to these active lines of code. So we're around the 385 mark. So yeah, we'll go to these specific lines of code. We're going to look at the sections that apply to this particular string. So in this case, if I look at line 385, there's a lot of things going on here. So what we're interested in is the text splitter object itself. So, level through wisdom XP is what we're interested in. We need to make it invisible, so Text blur, manifest text 01. To make it invisible. Simple enough. Roll through wisdom and speed stats range. So now we go back to this error chat. You'll see that was the only change we made there. We're obviously going to do this for the rest eventually, but for now we're just focusing on this first test. So it's the same idea here, but we have to negate. So copy that. Like that. Alrighty. We'll highlight again. And that's step line 406. And doing it this way, chat, is also nice because when we've actually finished the edits in a particular area, we'll only see the ones that are grayed out, which means those have been effectively commented out if when we're doing normal programming. And Copper Nicholson requests to read a message as Apollo. I'm about to say something so controversial that will change your views of me forever. For you see, Mega Man was right. That's right, I said it. He was destroyed against his will, along with the rest of the other Megatronics. They led a revolution against the unjust system of Dr. Light. His leaders deceived him and his fellow robots. The whole reason he swore to the movement was because he swore to no one. He swore that no one would ever hurt his people again. And that makes Mega Man a true hero. Alright. So display alterable string. I don't know if there is an equivalent for that. Well. Alright. Now looking at this, and it says display alterable string, but the thing is... Oh, right, so the reason why it displays the alterable string is because there are moments where it needs to display other things, aren't there? Oh. I'll have to put a pin in that one. I mean, it's also for updating purposes, but... This line of code, at least some of it might end up being deleted. Not all of it, just some of it. Let's see here. So, Copper Nicholson, since you're working longer hours, does that mean you're getting better pay now? Are you getting some extra overtime or anything like that? Alright, now this is where it gets tricky. So essentially we need to copy this text into this text blitter object. This is where the real, as I say, this is where the fun begins. You're getting an extra 20 bucks every week. Hey, that's pretty good. I mean, think of it this way: 20 bucks every week. That's times 52 weeks. You know how much extra money that is? That's over that's over an extra $1,000 a year. You're only commissioned fan art, you might say this is where the fun begins. And his clothing. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there already is something like that on the internet. Like, I would not put it past the internet to have already done something like that. In fact, I wouldn't put it past the internet to have done like a full like MLP version of Star Wars just for the fun of it. It'd be like some massive webcomic. You were the chosen one, Pinkie Pie. You were supposed to join Ponyville, not destroy it, or something like that. All right, so Alter Wisdom at speeds, all that. So the very first thing to do is to come into here and press Control C. And then we'll insert new line of code. Princess Lou is clearly the antidote of MLP. She even has a Darth Vader form, does she now? Alright, well there we go. Like, just imagine Princess Luna walking through the door of, like, the Rebel Corellian Corvette. And you just hear, like, the Sith music playing, and I was like, da 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 da. That'd be very silly. Change alterable text to that. Now we delete that. But we're not done quite yet. Since the positioning is also set in relation to the health bar, since the health bar does not move. Well, I mean, the health bar can change like how it's displaying depending on how much health the player has, but in terms of its actual like raw position, it doesn't move. Alright, but here's the real question, Copper Nettleson. In an MLP version of like the original Star Wars trilogy, who would be Luke Skywalker and why? Good question. Probably Twilight Sparkle. I mean, Twilight Sparkle is the protagonist, but is she really Luke Skywalker material? Because the thing is like, Luke Skywalker, I don't picture him as much of a bookworm, personally. Just think about it, Copper Nettleson. In order to be a Luke Skywalker, you need to be someone who'd be willing to be like a pilot of some kind. And to my knowledge, Twilight Sparkle has not done anything remotely like that. So you'd need someone who at least knows how to operate a cart, if not some kind of air vehicle. Otherwise, how would you ever do the X-Wing scenes? Alright, I think. Oh, so Rainbow Dash would be Luke Skywalker. I guess that means the galaxy's doomed, isn't it? They're doomed! They're doomed. Like, if anything, Rainbow Dash would probably make a lot more sense as Princess Leia. Sorry, I take that back. Rainbow Dash would make more sense as Luke Skywalker, but Twilight Sparkle should be Princess Leia. Because Princess Leia's, would try to think things through a bit more, but also have a lot of chaos upon them. I guess that means Would that make Applejack become a Chewbacca in that case? And if Applejack was Chewbacca, then who's Han Solo? Oh, Applejack is Han Solo and Fluttershy is Chewbacca. I don't know about that. Fluttershy doesn't really strike me as a Chewbacca. Chewbacca needs to be someone who is able to tear everything to shreds with their bare hands, using their overwhelming strength. Actually, wait, no, we take it back. If Applejack is Han Solo, then it's Applejack's brother who should, yeah, Big Mac. It should be Big Mac. It should be Chewbacca. It would make so much sense. Okay, and now we're copying this over. Wait. Yeah, okay, there it is. That's an interesting question. Who would Fluttershy be? So here's the problem. No. So the problem is, I don't really feel like there's a good analog in at least the Star Wars, like the base Star Wars movies, for a character like Fluttershy, because Fluttershy is quite literally the calm, sweet person who's able to tense the biggest chaos. And is there really a character like that? No, R2-D2 is way too feisty to be Fluttershy. I don't think C-3PO will work either. C-3PO is a bit of a tsundere, so I don't think Fluttershy would really make sense for that either. That's the problem, is like, there really isn't, like, when I think of Star Wars, at least the movies, there isn't really a character that comes to mind that's like that kind of, has that kind of sweetness, but could also like tense like the biggest chaos in the world. So, no, not Palpatine. Not Grievous, no. No, not Watto. Levels of wisdom at speed string. Yeah. Hey, Defiance Jar Jar, that would make so much sense. It would make way too much sense. It's like Pinkie Pie is just secretly a Sith Lord. It's like, yes, have fun, party. Don't notice the fact that we're slowly taking over the Empire. Ooh. that would be Pinkie Pie. Parties are the paths of the dark side. I mean, they are, because they have cookies. And we already know that the dark side has cookies. Specifically chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies filled specifically with dark chocolate. Cheese sandwiches, Palpatine. I can see it. I mean, cheese sandwich is conniving enough to be Palpatine. Weird Al was secretly a supervillain. Oh no. Also, chat, for those who are wondering, like, what are these equations here for the X positions and Y positions for everything? Why aren't we just using numbers? And the short version is we are using numbers. We're just defining them as central location in case we ever need to edit them. which, given how the test splitters work, might end up occurring. Celestia is Yoda, or maybe Mon Mothma. But I thought, do you say it was Zoroka who's Yoda? I feel like Celestia would probably be Mon Mothma, because that's the kind of role that Mon Mothma plays. Alright. Oh, sorry, Zatora. Sorry. You're right. All right. Now, chat, if I'm not talking as much this stream, it's because I am very much deep in thought, trying to make sure I'm not like messing up a line of code. Because even one line of code messed up here would be really bad, because this is all code in the manifest for displaying the very important stats and things to that effect. Ah, I see. All right. Have fun at work, Opera Nicholson. All right. All right. Ah, so it does exist. I see. All right, so now we've done all that. It means it's time for our first test. Let's take a look. All right. Okay, so what does it normally display? So I'm pretty sure that B amount is correct. I'm astounded to myself that I did not have the foresight to take a screenshot of what my stats were before that. So let's fix that. Oh, probably because is it being overridden? Alright. I think we got the stats right. I'm just gonna... Let's just take this screenshot of this, so I'll be right back, Chuck. Alright. Sorry about that, chat. So, this was more so for my own sanity, but I have taken a screenshot of what those values were so that when we actually display things, we can double check to make sure everything actually lines up. Okay. I think the numbers themselves are right. Yeah, so the actual values are correct, but I'm noticing, okay, no, the zero is still there because that's from a different, thing. The one thing that is obvious, though, is that these, it appears that all the text is on the left. I need it to be on the right. We're going to have to see if I can adjust that. I'd also want to get rid of the spaces there because the text is a bit less jumbled than what it was previously. Alright. Let's do some modifications. So the reason why there were spaces for those dashes there before is because with the regular old string objects, if that backslash was there, it could make the font kind of overlap with itself and look very odd. But here, though, because we're using custom fonts now, it's we actually have some built-in spaces, so that that definitely helps. Yeah, so that looks a bit better. Nice and condensed. Now, obviously, we still need it to be on the right side, not the left side. So let's adjust that. And I'll have to make adjustments for the other code as well. But first, let's get the basics working. Okay, top left. We need it to be top right. All right. Okay, now we're all the way over there on the side. It's the right idea, we just need to... right idea, no pun intended. Need to get the size right. Not quite. Alright, that's definitely closer. one more to the right should do it. Alright, and now we just need to shift everything down. We'll see what work spacing wise. Minus, we need like a 5, so let's try that. Oh, sorry, not now minus 5, a plus 5. Okay, so get the 52 lined up first. We're aiming for it to be about 2 pixels above that, so. That's 3. Okay, and then we need to make some adjustments. I think if, honestly, if we just add 1 downward as an offset, I think that should do it. Let's try 4? That do it? Aha! Perfect. Look at that chat. Obviously the old head spot's up there, but just in principle, not bad. Not bad at all. Now, looks like we have a different problem. The amount of XP we're going to end up getting in this game, that could easily overwhelm that layer. Huh. Well. That could be a problem. Alright, so now there's a couple of potential problems here. The most obvious problem is the EXP displayed here is just going to overlap the EXP test when we get to some of the higher levels in terms of how much speed we could be holding on to. Need to display how much its speed needs to level up, so it's not as simple as editing that out. Alright, how would I... That's gonna have to be something we think about, chat. The fact that I might have to adjust the manifest UI itself again, oh dear. Well, let's make a note about that. Okay. Well, chat, I think we do need to, before I go too much further into adjusting, adding more TextExplorer outlets, I think we really do need to address the elephants in the room, being the fact that the UI is going to have to be adjusted. So, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be working on coming up with some different UI designs. So don't worry, guys, I will be right back. Alrighty, chat. Welcome back, everyone. So I've made a copy of my, let's turn back on the music real quick. Anyway, I have made a copy of my, where is it? Of the save file that I use for my menus, and we're going to use this to basically try and create an alternate version of the menus. So, the problem we are running into is that the current space we have for displaying XP is too small for the sole reason that it's displaying both the XP needed to level up and the amount of XP currently earned. So that means at higher levels, when the player is expected to have a lot more XP, the numbers would overlap with, you know, this UI here, and thus that will look very odd. But of course, the Manifest UI is already pretty well optimized in terms of its space. So that means that to make it all work, we're going to have to really rethink how this is all displayed. So, let's think. I'll be right back, chat. I'll chat something. Alright, sorry about that, chat. So, what I'm thinking, chat, is the, let's start with just a very basic idea, which is just to display the longest weapon name that we know of. Okay. The test is Liwadi UI 14. Alright, so the longest weapon that we have, I think, is one of the longest ones. Okay. Suppose we would do something like that, where the level is put up top. That would allow us to essentially use this bottom line for the EXP. Alright, so let's see what would that look like. I mean, we're already using the L abbreviation, so I think that would probably be fine. Okay. W. If MW means melee weapon. And then, yeah, with that there, that gives plenty of space, hopefully, for the name and the level. And then down below, there's the ESP. Paper details, we eliminate that. And then we can just display the ESP down here. I mean, honestly, the columns like that, we could just do this to save some space. I think that works. Yeah, that could work. What do you think, chat? Definitely a bit of an adjustment. I have to put this on as a poll on the Discord server, but essentially, this would be the general idea: is to have the. Let's make a note of this. Idea 1. I will combine the name of the melee/ranged weapon with the weapon example. Level 0. Mirror. Below. Alrighty. Right. Okay, that'll definitely work better. Okay, so judging by how many digits that is, nope, it's 10 digits including the backslash. It's about half of it. So the maximum's about 20 digits, so that means as long as we stay under 1 million in terms of required amount of XP, then it should be fine. All right. The line that displays that text. We have some adjustments to make. Dang it. Why is the expression base too complex? Okay, there we go. What's the period up there? Alright, well, there's some adjustments to make there. Yep, that could work. Of course, now the melee damage will need a new string, but that's okay. As part of this rework, the string this means that you all right. Well, now that's there, we can focus on some of the other equations. There's that. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Well, obviously I need to adjust the equation for rocks, but yeah. Cool. All right, so our business, we need to lower those the locations of those periods. All right. Okay. So we've got all that. And now just in the position of those periods. My insanity. Hello, Coppernuts, and welcome back. Oh, right now we're just making some more adjustments to some of the fonts. We actually needed to slightly adjust the UI on the manifest to combine some different things due to the size constraints of the text splitter object. Yeah. a few more. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, so for those wondering what kind of stuff I have to do for working on Heartwell off stream, it's a lot of stuff like this. Just because of how involved some of these adjustments have been. But it's all necessary groundwork in order to build this strong foundation that this game needs. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, we're back at the central wall, and we finally have all that. Right now, chat, I'm recoloring all the text to make it look like it would in the main menu. It would have to be characters with like a mentor-apprentice situation. I feel like if so if Pinkie Pie is Anakin, I guess that would make Cheese Sandwich Obi-Wan then. Twilight Celestia or Twilight Spite, that could work too. that done. Oh, really? I was unaware of that, Copper Nicholson. Alright, now the test looks like it's belongs a bit more since it's using the same color for the font. And a very subtle change, but a change nonetheless. Alright. How is that sort of business? Doing the working on the next group of fonts. We have this one. Now we need to replicate this for a lot of the other strings. Let's see here. There's the next one. All right. Let's do this. Just imagine Kylo Ren. I see. Alright. Have I seen Star Wars The Acolyte? I have not. Listen, Tavern Nicholson, in the Star Wars canon, there's exactly one bar to clear, and that bar is it better or worse than the Book of Boba Fett? Because that is the real question. Oh, I was just saying, like, is The Acolyte better or worse than the Book of Boba Fett? Well, I mean, in my opinion, the Book of Boba Fett really isn't that good of a show. The pacing, like, the pacing's all over the place. The build up to the reveal of the main antagonist is horrible. Like, it's just the epitome of wasted potential, in my opinion. Like, even half of the, even like close, like a decent chunk of the show isn't even about Boba Fett. It's about the Mandalorian. Like, a show that's dedicated to supposed to be dedicated to Boba Fett ends up just being, you know, the Mandalorian season 2.5 halfway through it. So, I'm sorry, I didn't like it very much, and that's no disrespect to Boba Fett as a character. Like, I like Boba Fett as a character, but I just feel like the show really did not do the best that it could have with this character. Well, let me ask you this, Topper Nicholson. Do you think Cad Bane's final fight with Boba Fett was... Well, what did you think of Cad Bane's final fight with Boba Fett? Because in my opinion, it was extraordinarily underwhelming. Like, we have seen in the Clone Wars TV show what Cad Bane is capable of, and to have them basically standing there and doing a basic fight like that, it was just like, what? Also, the fact that Cad Bane was just kind of thrown in at the last second as opposed to being like a consistent antagonist, consistent foil to Boba Fett, that was some wasted potential. Again, like, you can... Like, the design looked cool, but you can't deny that the execution could have been way, way better. Like, we already know that Disney is capable of some pretty decent in battle scenes, as we've seen in some of their movies. So why is it that, you know, you have two bounty hunters with all this tech that can do all sorts of crazy things, and they end up just, you know, they stand there and have like a stare down? Like, that's all they do. Like, what? Like, think about all the tech that Cad Bane and Boba Fett have, and all they do is stand there. Like, I don't buy that. Like, to me, that is just so insanely underwhelming. But how, Topper Nicholson? Think about it. Like, think about all the fight scenes you've seen Cad Bane do in the Clone Wars, and then compare them to that fight scene with Boba Fett at the end. I guarantee, like, that fight scene between him and Boba Fett isn't even really much of a fight. It's just, like I said, it's a stare down. It's underwhelming. All right. Now, well, that. Where are we? Yeah. Yeah, we need those. Right. That. Are you listening to me, Topper Nicholson? I'm saying think of the choreography of that fight. You cannot tell me that the choreography of that fight matches at all to what we've seen in... Yeah, exactly. Ah, I see. Fair enough. No, that was my only question. So, oh, it breaks lore. Okay, what lore's broken out of curiosity, Topper Nicholson? Alright. So that sounds like some cast drama, but what about the lore breaking? Because to me, the lore breaking is probably a lot more important than any sort of drama between casts. Anakin Skywalker is supposed to be the chosen one because he is the only time a child has been conceived by the Force. No. If you've ever read deep into the Star Wars Legends or played some of the Knights of the Old Republic games, you'd know the concept of chosen one is a bit of a misnomer. You could say chosen one for this time, but the idea of a chosen one's ridiculous. And that's simply because everything in Star Wars is cyclical. There's always some new evil that rises, there's always some new hero that rises, and that's that. The part where his birth was immaculate. Well, I mean, the Force is done because he was conceived via the Force. And, okay, but again, with the Force, the Force is not a monolith. It's not like things only happen once and that's it. The Force is capable of things far more powerful than simply conceiving a single life. So again, that's why the idea of him being the chosen one because he's conceived by the Force, okay, he fits that particular prophecy for that particular point in time. But I don't think that makes him particularly special. It just makes him special for that point in time. Because again, Star Wars is cyclical. Wait, so it's not lore breaking that there are twin sisters that were born by a pair of lesbian characters? No. Let me put it to you this way, Topper Nicholson. Is it possible to live without the Force in Star Wars canon? I'm asking you a question, Copper Nicholson. Is it possible to live without the Force in the Star Wars canon? Since the Force is quote-unquote the thing that binds all things. Also, yeah, yes, that's what non-sensitive people... No, not quite. So, being non-sensitive does not mean not using the Force. After all, like, even though a character like Han Solo is not Force sensitive, someone who is Force sensitive should still use the Force to detect him, or to manipulate him, or to sense him from a distance. But I guess I'm getting a bit off on a tangent here, so let's circle back. So the question is it lore breaking for twin sisters to basically bear a child via the Force? And my answer to that is the Force allows people to attain nigh immortality. It allows people to drain the life of planets. Like, the Force is capable of some ludicrously powerful things. Like, well beyond one single life. So in that kind of situation where the Force is capable of that, I think being able to just conceive a life via the Force is fairly tame by comparison. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see just how powerful the Force can get, play Knights of the Old Republic 2, and then tell me whether or not it's so unique for a character to be born of the Force, when you see what kinds of stuff that some of the characters in that game can get up to. I mean, if you even really want to get, like, even slightly less powerful, but still to... The games are meant to be very different from the films. The games are set in a different era. Like, they're set thousands of years before the events of the films. And while Knights of the Old Republic 2, I think, shows some of the heights of what the Force can achieve, even Knights of the Old Republic 1 would still have stuff with the Force that's more impressive than just making a single human life. Like, in Knights of the Old Republic 1, there's this thing called the Starforge. And the Starforge uses some older content technology to, in essence, you take power from a star and use it to manufacture anything, like on a mass scale. It uses the dark side of the Force to essentially drain the life out of a star, and you can use it to create anything. You can use it to create entire, like, massive armadas of ships almost instantly. And that's just one example. And to your point, like, if you argue, like, oh, well, things like Force heal are meant to be extremely rare, okay, counterpoint, you're arguing that being able to create a person in the Force should be extremely rare. Fine, let's follow that argument. Like, if that's supposed to be extremely rare, it's also extremely rare to have something like the Starforge, or it's extremely rare to have some of the insane powers that are seen in the Knights of the Old Republic 2. Just because it's rare does not mean it doesn't exist. Because... Alright. Well, let's at least check how that looks in the... here. What did that do? What is this supposed to... Oh, is this on the right, isn't it? Aha, there it is. Okay, I see it now. Okay. Let's see. Well, what I'm getting at, Copper Nicholson, is just because something is rare doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, just as it's rare for something like the Starforge to exist, also means that rare is not the same thing as unique. So, is it rare to be able to conceive a child from the Force? Yes. Does that mean it will only ever happen once? No. Because clearly the Force is capable of miracles and extraordinarily magical things beyond just creating a singular life. So the Starforged can create entire fleets in the blink of an eye, and there's been other examples of force powers that far extend that. I mean, honestly, if you want to talk about long-living creatures, I think the Hutts are among some of the longest living creatures in theory in the Star Wars universe. I don't know exactly what their max lifespan is, but it is a very long time. Anyway, I'm gonna have to pick up with this later, so let's just make a note. Current status. Indeed. Central well. Need to finish adapting code for the Explorer Manifest. That's 2 objects. Alright. Alright, chat, I think that'll be a good spot to wrap things up for now. So if you're watching on Twitch, feel free to stick around for raid, but if you're watching on YouTube and you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing on YouTube. It's free to subscribe on YouTube, you can always change your mind later, and it's a great way to show support. If you're watching on YouTube, have an amazing night.